people operating a situation such as this, you find that when the one is the dominant, having the most responsibility, and the original operating entity of everything tends to pay everything and then get reimbursed. I think the documents read similar to that, if I recall, but I haven't really studied them. I'm not primary to your community. I'm actually stand-in to the primary attorney today because he had a conflict with him. But what you have is one entity advancing the costs for the other entity and seeking reimbursement from the other members. That's not commingling. That's not a conflict of interest.
Yeah, but we have a right to legal 5 years.
You have a right to
And
documents
who's paying
and
you,
to
sir?
inspect them.
With
Middle
all
River
due-
Club.
Middle River Club.
Yes.
Okay. And we felt that was necessary, I guess.
It was
After 2
determined to be
years?
necessary, yes.
Well, we're trying to turn this ship around, okay, that's what we're really trying to do here.
Andrew, we tried, it can't,
I'm still
and
trying.
no, it's not gonna work, and it's sad, and it goes, like I said, before we were on the board, it can't happen. So, the point has been made, where are we with this? So we can go back 5 years instead of 3. See, now, if we really wanna go back, we can even go back, and yes, whatever is right and lawful, Sean, it's never a big deal. I didn't want any of this, the $2,700 a month, it's something back to River Shores. Now we're up from 112,000 to 160 some odd
Yeah,
thousand.
163,500.
Yeah, so now, I don't know that we're going better, and now Andrew's gonna have that little surprise for us coming up. I don't know this is the direction we wanna go, but again, as Mr. Dombrowski says, be careful what you ask for, you may get it. So, I am happy, and I'm sure once I discuss it with the River Shores Board, whatever is back on that insurance, with delight, give it back to Middle River Club, not a big deal. And then we can even go back now, instead of 3 years, we can go back 5 years for this little thing, and we can vote on the other 2 years later on. How's that? Would that make you feel better?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. No. All right, so where are we with this?
Okay, well, there was a,
We're under discussion, that's where we are.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
having a
we
little
really
discussion
need to
about
move
number
along.
one, that they wanted to,
Yeah.
that some of the board members want to do
Yeah.
an audit.
Again, a waste of the money. He has all the records, he can do whatever he, minutes, everything, every electric bill, every gas bill, no, that's enough.
But see, that's the problem, because I don't have copies of invoices that you're now submitting things for. You can't say that I have copies of everything when
Okay.
you're
We
charging things that were never
need to get past
included.
this, right. We need to get
If
past
I could
this.
offer a suggestion, if either the buildings wants an audit of these particular charges, they can undertake their own.
Good. Yeah.
Under discussion, I just have a question with respect to the itemized list of reimbursements. With the exception of those that are bonuses, because obviously there's no invoice for a bonus when you give someone a bonus for their work ethics. But the other items that are on here, some of which go back 3 years, it's been my past experience when I was a department head and I had to share expenses, that when I was sent an invoice with my share of the expense, the total invoice was there broken down as follows: so much for fire, so much for police, so much for DPW, and accordingly. So just say, for example, an invoice was $300 and my share was 100. I received the original invoice and then the formula which it was broken down. Do we have that? In other words, you're the management, if we're suggesting this be paid, do we have the invoices for these
Yes, we have
items?
backup on those now,
We
yes.
have the invoices for these items,
Now we do,
and it's broken down showing what our share is
yes.
to be paid, with the exception, like, again, of
A few that, right.
the bonuses, we're not gonna have invoices for bonuses, quite obviously.
Can I see the list?
And again, Leo, understand, none of like the bonuses, none of that was even gonna be mentioned. You have to remember, River Shores pays 63%. So if something, nobody was looking to cheat anybody. If something, let's say, the electric, It was really, if we had a meter on it and it was only valued at $75, but Steve used parts that I didn't know about and they were worth whatever, again, it's too much for the entire situation. It's not making an excuse, it's trying to get through to get things done around here.
And we
So,
also have these bills, I mean, we have these invoices, like for the fertilizer hedge. You
Yeah,
can see it, and then
of
you
course.
can divide it among the.
well, again,
You know.
the attitude was, get it done, we'll figure it out, because, I didn't have the little orange paint to put this property line there, now I have this is all foolish. And then how much were the hedges, I had to go back when it was individual, and see, we're saving money. But we're not interested in that, we're interested in an exact, audited accounting, which is fine, not a big deal. You can pull the invoices, whatever you need is fine. But, we need to move forward. So can we move forward, or we pass the discussion?
No, I don't think.
Okay, well, no, it's a board discussion, so this is how I would like to move along on this. Why don't we conditionally accept the 18,000 as presented? If there's any problems in the next couple of weeks that you can find, or you have any questions, we'll extend it, because you've already had, 2+ weeks to go over this. This is not the time nor the place, this is a board meeting.
Actually, this is the time of the play.
Oh, you're gonna see.
Oh, okay.
They will see the backup on it anyway. On
Yeah,
the
we can go, well, actually, I gave them some backup, because,
Okay.
Mr. Anderson was the one, because, he has credentials and everything, who was agreed to a certain amount that was really due River Shores. So then, when I started looking back, I didn't charge for that, again, it's not a concept easily gotten, and I'm not looking for excuses, you have to look at the entire picture here. So if River Shores, we'll give an example, paid the bonus because of the hurricane, and that was like in September, I think we gave them $250 each.
Right. Well, it's on.
Big deal, it's still 63% of it. So not to start a whole thing, I never charged back for it, okay? It's my error. It should have been done a lot with the magnifying glass. So now, because of all this stuff, that's what we did.
So how can you self-correct if you were making mistakes for all these years?
They really weren't mistakes. It was to get something back that was really due. To get to the penny is impossible.
If Middle River had their own charge card, maybe you could.
Yes, but that's the problem. Would you want to put your name on the charge card? No.
That was decided years ago in the budget minute meetings that there was supposed to be a Middle River Club charge
You
card.
get it without personally guaranteeing.
Yeah.
Right, and then Bobby Anderson was going to do that as well.
Yeah, and then he said he wasn't going to do that. So, again, you've gotten everything you wanted, folks. No complaints. Let's move on. So, motion on the table is...
You're not chairing the meeting, Tony, so just relax.
Oh,
The
okay.
motion on the table is
Okay, there we go.
whether we want to hire an auditor to,
Do an independent
do
audit.
an independent audit of the reimbursements back to River Shores.
Yeah, both the 18 and the
For
5
the 18 and the 5 down.
from last year.
No.
Got it?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
No, it's not fun. It's ridiculous. You're welcome to come up and look at that, whatever it is. So, we ready to move on?
Number 2.
Well, no, I don't think we voted on the $18,000 yet.
Yes, you did.
No, we just voted.
That was on the audit. Okay, yeah, see, this is what happens.
You have to make a motion.
Yes, this is what happens every board meeting. Motion to conditionally accept the 18 whatever thousand. And you can come up in a couple of weeks if you want to ask anything, go over it. We want you comfortable. You want to see anything? No problem. But it's not going to be hours upon hours. So there we go. To conditionally accept, we'll give it 2 weeks. You can come up. And if not, then we'll use the word estoppel. Then you will agree to it as presented. Is that fair?
Since I'm not sure what the word estoppel means,
You're not going to discuss it after this point.
no, that's not fair. You can never close off discussion on something like that.
Maybe the attorney can explain. We can't have this going on 50 years from now, continuing.
Well, I don't think you can deal with that in a motion until.
Oh, okay. So then we'll conditionally accept it. You got a couple of weeks to come up.
something, it goes to binding arbitration, if someone disputes any finances.
No.
It's
And
in the
we'll look
condo
into it.
docs, it's in the condo docs.
Okay, well, this is not how we'll do it. We'll look
It's
at
not
it.
about you deciding what the
Then you
condo
have to
docs are.
file for arbitration, okay? That's what you have to
It's in the
do.
condo docs, if
Okay.
there's a dispute.
Who's condo doc?
Middle River Clubs.
Middle River Club is paragraph 6 of the 1972 agreement, which was defined as the bylaws in the incorporation,
Right, he's right. They filed for it.
Okay, but what they're saying is they will come up within 2 weeks and take a look at everything.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, that's
That was the offer a
Well,
few
now you
weeks.
need to take a vote,
Yes.
take your vote.
To vote whether they do that.
No.
No.
They approved that motion on the 18th.
Yes.
It's all on there.
But there are no, there's nothing in the Middle River Club condo docs, or in the inventory, that's itemized that explains any of these $18,000. You're gonna go up and they're not gonna see it because it's River Shores money. No, it is. I mean, it's-
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Oh, wait, there's a first and second.
This is
Now,
open for owner input.
yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Sorry, yes?
He's saying that, but he's saying, I did what
He
he's
made the
saying to
mistake of
do.
recognizing you in the first.
That's right.
motion.
That's correct.
But he mentioned my name.
Well, that you could do.
Yeah.
But I
So we're
did
gonna
something.
stop this. There's a first and second.
not
I'm
chairing,
voting
Tony.
for the, no, it's point of order. Yes?
Under your point of order, after the first and the second comes a discussion.
No, we've
Learn your
discussed
parliamentary
it.
procedures.
We
No, you
discussed this.
discuss-
I'm
You
very
discuss going to an
confused.
audit. Under discussion, does Ally feel as though that this bill is in order?
Yeah, because I get backup. I have an invoice from the hedge guy, I have an invoice for the electric, I have actual invoices for these items.
Where are we going
Every
now?
board meeting, I don't know, because we can't move along. I think we have to take a vote, Andrew, is that right?
On,
On the
Item number
18,000.
okay, on a vote on the 18,000, conditionally accepted after you guys go up and take a look at the.
Within 2 weeks.
Within the next 2 weeks.
Okay. Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
No.
Okay, the motion passes. Okay? Okay, next item. Is again, we're just gonna state again about the reimbursements that are due to River Shores for the parking spaces and also for the barbecue. The barbecue is $100 a month, simply because to move the gas line the city was giving us a lot of problems. It's way too expensive and it can't happen. As to the parking spots, there are 3 parking spots by security and 3 parking spots by out here, I believe, and it's $2 a day for each parking spot, which comes out to $6, comes out to $12 a day on 365 days, and that gets reimbursed, and it's already been approved in
Yes,
prior
this is
minutes.
just to make it clear again, and then finally again. So it's nothing.
Point of information, the 3 spots by the directory, are those actual physical parking spots?
They used to be actually deeded spots, yes.
Okay, so they're the spots that someone would parking while it's going to, hitting the numbers on the
Correct.
directory.
It is shared by all 3 communities equal, well,
Not equally.
yes.
So that gets reimbursed.
Yes, and that is current. Now, the issue is the $100, Sean. Are you okay with, and it's a question, it's not a debate, it's a yes or no. Do you want to continue moving the gas line, which I had to go to the city to find out what the holdup was?
Yeah, I can tell you what the holdup was. I called the fire department. You know that, Tony.
No, they're gonna stay where they are, but
Yeah.
now we found out, no. The holdup was the company, not the fire department. You didn't want them back there.
That's right.
They should have stayed there, but that was,
Well, that was illegal.
it was illegal, well, a lot of things were illegal.
Well, you know, so.
Okay.
Well,
so
meanwhile,
now-
it's staying over here.
Yeah, so
It's
now,
100 a month, so
conditionally,
it's-
Sean, when I went to the city, I said, what's the holdup? Because that's what Andrew said was the holdup. And the city, I got a head hold of the inspector, and he said it was not just the gas line, the barbecues had to be moved 20 feet away and then they had to do something with the line. It was a number of things. So instead of this 14,000, 15,000,
It's going up.
it's going up and up and up. So if you're okay with the $100 a month chargeback, then we want to make sure you're comfortable. It may be $10 more that River Shores is getting, it may be $10, we don't know, because we're not going to put a meter, we're not going to do that. Because sometimes people leave, Peg has noticed, people leave the gas on.
You're right.
Yeah, so this is what it is. We're not gonna penny wise and pound foolish it.
Are we on 3E now?
No, we're on 2. We're well past the half hour 2.
Okay,
We wanna make sure you're comfortable.
okay, it's not a question of comfortable, the transparency question is,
Okay.
which I've never seen or heard, what is the average River Shores gas bill over a year period?
I don't know, it could be $400, $500 a month, 600, I don't know. I
Well,
don't
see, that's
remember
the
off top.
transparency question.
Okay.
That we don't know what the $100, it could, I mean,
Okay.
it could have been $50.
You know what, let's be more transparent. Andrew, we're gonna move ahead with the, gas line.
No, all
No,
I'm
no.
asking for is River Shores
It-
monthly average gas
It doesn't
bill.
matter we don't know if the barbecues are on half the night, we just don't know.
No,
We
but
can't
all
go by
I'm trying to
average.
figure out is approximately what percent is
I told you, 4 or 5, I don't know, I don't remember.
That doesn't
Sometimes
instill
it's less,
confidence,
sometimes
Tony.
it's more.
Can we
Okay.
get them the information? Average it
Well,
out over the year. This is $5,000 a year. Let's say, whatever the number
Yeah,
is.
something like that.
Give them the number.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Just give them,
All right.
okay? Please.
Anything else?
Okay.
So we're gonna agree with this, you don't wanna move forward with the line, is that correct, Sean?
Well, now we are in 3E, gas line install vote to abandon project.
There's a deduction.
Yes. Well, no, I think we're still on 2, but okay, if you wanna go with.
No, but that's part of it, so,
No.
Yeah.
that's
Oh.
part of it.
All right, so we can move on.
No, it's part of it, hold on. The gas line, the vote to abandon the project after this discussion.
Yeah.
That it's gonna cost us a ridiculous
Right.
amount of money to.
So we can wait for that, let's go to the other
wanna
items.
do it that
3,
way?
yes, no, they're in order.
Well, at some point, do you plan on voting on these items? Is that the intent of putting them on the agenda?
No, it was
No,
a
this is
reminder,
just
we've
a
already
reminder.
voted on them, it's just a reminder.
Now this 3, new unrealized expenses to be reimbursed to RS monthly to begin November 1st. Okay, now what's this? Is this out of 4 parking spaces out front?
Yes, what happened, River Shores had to lose 4 parking spaces, so we should be reimbursed for that, for the
4 more?
community.
No,
Yeah,
that's 4 more, or that's a
4 more. What happens, the gates, the fencing is in our spaces.
Why weren't we charged ever before for
Well,
this?
Because we were neighbors.
No, also, but the breakdown for the gate expense is different than the breakdown for quarterly maintenance. It's like 73 for River Shores, I think 10 for River Bend, something like that, I don't know the exact
I'm so
percentages.
sorry.
It's a different percentage for gate maintenance, and I think that, I can make an argument that was included, the loss of those spaces should have been, was included in that, and we shouldn't try and back do it now.
No, it's going forward to November 1st. We're not back charging it. See what it says? It says, right on top
As of
of it.
November 1st.
Yeah, nobody's
Beginning
back
of November
charging,
first.
see, because now I had to get a magnifying glass out because of every little thing, whatever. A lot of work, but it's okay, we're willing to do it. The board, that's what the River Shores Board required after being in the middle of all this.
So besides the 3 and 3 spaces?
Yes.
There's 4 more spaces?
Yes, at the entrance, when you come in, you'll see, and our parking spaces are smaller in Bristol. We lost a guest spot in the Avon area, and then where one of the spots are, all the wires and whatever are there.
I think this is very punitive.
Yeah. Anyway, so, are we ready? Can I make a motion, and then, are we ready for that? Motion to accept 3A, the 4 parking spaces for security gate, charge $2 each, that's $8 a day, to be reimbursed to River Shores under the security. So
But
that's the 73%.
this is gonna be in perpetuity.
Let's wait till there's a second and go on to discussion.
Yeah.
Is it fun?
Okay, is anyone making a second?
No,
How can you rent it?
correction, Leo,
How
so you
can
made
rent
an
the easement?
assumption.
If it's an easement that's been deeded to the other three associations respectively, how can you rent it?
It's for the expenses, no. We never charged for them, we just accepted it. So now we're going to charge for the easement of the use of that.
But these are not actual these are.
Sure, they were actual parking spaces. We lost 4 parking, River
But
Shores.
they don't, no one can park in them right now because they're part of the gate mechanism. Is
Right.
that what I'm-
Correct.
Okay. So these are negative spaces that no longer exist.
Correct.
But it seems to me that's the type of thing, there's a 1 point sale which would have gone on 96 when the gate was put in and involved in that document and not an in perpetuity situation that we have
Right.
right now.
Right, so it's starting November 1st. It should have been charged for. All gate expenses, River Shores lost. As a matter of fact, the parking space was a little bit smaller. People had to give up their deeded spots. It had to be a whole changeover. So, again, I didn't want all of this. I said it openly multiple times at meetings. This is what you wanted. You wanted an exact accounting. Now we looked into it. Therefore, there's a motion and second.
And it's under discussion.
Still under discussion.
So, my question,
Move on.
No, he has to keep talking.
Mr. Chairman,
Keep going,
you
no,
know,
we're listening.
you have to keep people in line.
Well, besides.
Anyone's allowed to ask a question, and they shouldn't be having derogatory comments when they're trying to ask a question. Everybody's up there trying to do their duty, that's all. So, my point is, since 1996, when the agreement was drafted, notarized, and deeded,
Right.
and registered with the county or the city or whatever, was there a rent going on from that day forward?
No.
No. I don't doubt for a second that there was a logistical nightmare for River Shores to have to give up any amount of parking spaces in order to accommodate the installation of the gates. I can only imagine what took place back then. You're gonna tell me I have to move my parking spot. I get it.
Mhm.
But I don't see how, if an agreement was reached and notarized and deeded and so forth for that particular piece of land to be used by the 3 entities,
Mhm.
how then can you ask rent 25 years later for the same parcel of land? It's been deeded to be used by the 3 entities and to be maintained by this entity, Little River Club. How then can we start paying rent or be in charge rent?
Okay, Leo, can I say something? I just want to answer something for you, because I was there at the time, and then you think I would have learned my lesson never to come back. You see the different percentages on that gate? River Shore, I know River Shores is like 73%, instead of the Middle River Club, 63%. I can remember the aggravation having to deal with the 2 buildings going back over 20 years ago. And I don't, honestly, it's a mental befuddlement for me. I don't get what the problem is. But I remember they weren't going to agree to it. They were complaining because at that time cars were disappearing, whatever, in those days at that time. So Harold was really great about, we came up with it, we did a lot of work, we had to get the city involved, to put the gates back, they wouldn't approve it. So it was a lot of work back then. I'm not complaining about it, I'm just saying to get some security around here, which now we have no security because everybody's got a clicker, so they might as well stay open. So again, you've taken pieces of River Shores, or not you, the community as a whole, and River Shores situation, and it should be charged for. And again, River Shores is paying 73% of that, $8 a day.
But River Shores, I'm sorry, just finish, I'm
So
sorry.
I don't see where we can go otherwise. If Mr. K, if it is kind of foolish, but we never charged for it before, but when we were told to look, if you think we shouldn't do it, I don't think we have a problem with it, any of us. What is your opinion on it?
Well, all I know about it is what I've heard here today. I'm looking at the agreement you mentioned from 1996, and it does provide that in the future, committee can adjust various aspects of the charges that are associated with it. So I don't see it as a violation with the easement agreement. However, for what it is basically rental of spaces that aren't being used, not
if your recommendation is to let it go, if, again, we're talking, oh, please tell him to let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah,
Well, I wouldn't give you a business recommendation, because that's not my function.
well,
Give you a legal one.
again,
Andrew's the business guy.
Yeah.
I'm saying, let it go.
yeah, do you think we'll
Just
ever be
one thing.
friends? Let that one go?
Yes. Yes, please.
Can we ever be friends,